So Ghana will be joining the rest of the world in March to mark World Kidney Day. The day is a global awareness campaign day set to raise awareness of the importance of kidneys, the overall health, and to reduce the frequency and impact of kidney diseases, as well as its associated health problems worldwide. As the years go by, the world is faced with an alarming increase in chronic kidney disease, but we want to look at what pertains in Ghana ahead of that day. Joining me in the studio for a brief conversation on this is Dr. Victor Ekem. He's resident doctor, internal medicine at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and of course he's at the Department of Internal Medicine, Therapeutics. Doc, thank you very much for your time this evening. Now let's begin with how you know that you have healthy kidneys. I mean, is there a way for you to know?
First, before I go on, I want us to think about what the kidneys do. Without knowing what the kidneys do, it will be difficult to know what a healthy or unhealthy kidney is.
Okay.
So the kidneys are one of the paired organs in the body, which means normal people have two kidneys. They are located in the abdomen, more towards your upper back. What the kidneys do are essentially to filter your blood. So that whatever you eat, whatever you drink is processed, your gut takes care of it, and the waste products are eliminated by the kidney. So that's essentially what the kidney does, apart from other important functions. So keeping this in mind, if your kidneys aren't working well, you have a toxic buildup of some of these toxic waste products in the body, and you start having symptoms.
That's what it basically means. If you have any problem with your kidney,
you start showing symptoms, showing up buildup of the toxic substances, waste substances in the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, is there a way to know? I mean, I've not gone to any hospital to check whether my kidneys are okay. I believe they're okay. Is there a way to know that they're okay?
So going back to the function again of the kidneys, they filter, essentially. So all the water you drink, everything you take in should eventually come out after the body has taken the useful part out of it. So if your kidneys aren't filtering well, you can imagine that you retain a lot of fluid. So a common complaint people with kidney disease have is they realize that their feet get swollen, they wake up with swollen eyes. That's one of the common complaints people have. They also tell you that I've realized that I don't urinate as often as I do. The amount of urine I produce has reduced. Another common complaint that people with kidney disease have is their urine tends to be frothy. When we say frothy, it looks like soap bubbles. That's another complaint, and that is because of the kidney leaking a lot of protein into the urine, and it makes the urine look frothy. So these are some of the complaints.
And so these are some of the symptoms: swollen feet, frequent urination. You said
reduced. Typically, their urine amounts.
So when you are urinating frequently, it's not a problem.
It can be a problem. If you drink a lot of water, you are likely to urinate more frequently than usual. More water than you should, you are likely to urinate. Some people who have what we call urinary tract infections also tend to urinate more frequently than usual. And this is because what we call the bladder is irritated, so you urinate frequently. So that's not necessarily.
How do you differentiate between a swollen feet, for example, that's not related to kidney problems, and swollen feet that's actually related to it?
I was quick to add that not all swollen feet are due to kidney disease.
So just so we get the clarity.
It's good to go to a hospital. Once you're not sure, just go to a hospital. If you have swollen feet, you've been having this recurrent for about 3 months or more, not even any duration of time, just go to the hospital, see your primary care physician, and be evaluated.
We know, I mean, not everybody likes to go to the hospital. I mean, my grandmother will hardly go to the hospital. Is there a way that you can check at home, or that you can help somebody check?
So I'll be happy to tell everybody to be happy to go to the hospital.
Well, I mean, I know that's the ideal, but we all know that the ideal doesn't always
it doesn't
prevail.
always happen. But in kidney disease, and it's good we are talking about this now, the earlier you catch it, the better. Because there are validated tools to assess kidney function. We go through what we call stage 1 up to the end stage. And it's important to catch people while they have the earlier stages of the disease. Once they get to the end stage, it's more difficult to intervene. So when it comes to kidney disease, and generally all disease in particular, it's good to go for evaluation. Don't stay at home, say I don't like going to the hospital before it's too late.
So swollen body parts, mostly the legs or the feet?
Essentially dependent areas. So the feet get swollen, and they also typically have swollen eyes when they wake up. It's all because the kidneys cannot filter the water that is produced.
Okay.
So that's just one of the signs.
Okay, so one quick thing before we move on to the trends about the signs. If you're, sometimes there are people who sit down for a long time or longer periods, and after they've sat down for longer periods, they realize that their feet is swollen a bit, but then it eases up when you move around. Yes. Is that something that people should be worried about?
Not necessarily. So that is, we call in medical terminology, dependent edema. So that's the areas of your body which are dependent. So for instance, I'm sitting down, you're sitting down, you've probably been sitting down for the past 2 or 3 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if your feet will be a little bit swollen. But when it's more unusual than it normally is, you should go to the hospital.
You should go to the hospital.
Yes.
We also know pregnant women usually have swollen feet. I mean, they have swollen, some of them have swollen everything, including swollen nose.
Yes.
But does that mean that when they're pregnant, the kidneys are not working properly?
That's not what it means, yes. And apart from that, in pregnancy, the abdomen obviously gets bigger. So there's increased pressure from what we call the gravid uterus on the leg veins, and that reduces the amount of water which is yeah, so it's not abnormal.
So let's look at the trend as far as kidney problems are concerned. Are we looking at an increase, decrease? How bad is it?
So it's quite bad. Worldwide, the estimated prevalence of kidney disease is between 10 to 15%. In Ghana, it's about 17%. And I would say while I was working with the renal unit, I saw at least 2 new cases of kidney disease a day. And this is
2 new cases a day?
Yes, a day. And this is of the end stage kidney disease. And this is just in one
So that's like
center.
a deteriorated situation,
yes,
if you like.
Towards the end, yes. And that's in one center. So I can imagine that in other places there will be also lots of numbers. So it's a worrying trend.
It's worrying trend.
Yes.
And that's why people should be able to go to the hospital. If you begin to see some of these symptoms that we've just discussed, swollen feet especially, you want to check it, because some may be related to kidney problems, some may not. But if you don't go to the hospital, you will not know. Quickly, before we wrap up, what are some of the treatment options available?
So the treatment options, first of all, prevention. Go early, be screened early. Let us make sure that you've not got the end stage of kidney disease. Once you hit the end stage of kidney disease, we have to do what we call renal replacement therapy. There are a number of modalities. Worldwide, what we are seeking to do more of is to have what we call kidney transplants. That is, when your kidneys have shut down, you can get someone compatible with kidney to give you a kidney. Otherwise, what typically we have, especially here, is called dialysis. So in dialysis, it's an artificial machine which works like the kidney for you to filter your blood, essentially, just like the kidney should do.
Okay, so tell us a bit more about the program lineup for.
Okay. So this year, World Kidney Day will be held on the 14th of March. Activities slated are include general health screening. This is on the 13th of March. It will be held in Cape Coast, at Cape Coast Town Hall. On the 14th of March at Infant Swim School, starting 7 a.m., there will be a health walk. Later in the day, there will be a public lecture at the School of Medical Sciences, University of Cape Coast.
And what's the theme for this?
The theme is healthy kidneys for everyone, everywhere.
Healthy kidneys. Healthy kidneys for everyone, everywhere. That's it. Healthy kidneys for everyone, everywhere. And of course, if we had a lot more time, we would have spoken about what can be done to remedy a situation, even if it gets to the deteriorated state. But it doesn't mean that you should wait for it to deteriorate. You can get to the hospital, get some treatment, make sure you check whether or not you have it. Don't wait until the situation deteriorates. But obviously, on that day, we will also be talking a lot more about saving and protecting our kidneys. But Doc, thank you very much for coming and sharing with us these details. Dr. Victor Ekem is resident doctor with the Department of Internal Medicine and Therapeutics at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.